300 organ builders in the UK, and me and Richard Young, my boss, we're two of those 300 people. We're on the endangered list. But it's an amazing job, and one that I'm really proud to be doing, really. I never thought in my life at all I'd become an organ builder, and now I'm doing it.
And how long has this organ taken to be restored?
So this has taken about a year, so it took us approximately about 9 days to dismantle it. It's always quicker to getting it to pieces than putting it back together again. And then it's been 10 months in the workshop, and we came back about 3-4 weeks ago, started putting things back together again. And the church is, well, it's starting to thin down now, but it was literally full of thousands and thousands of bits. And they've all got their home up there. And we use our mobile phones to photograph everything these days to try and remember what went in what order, and we still get it wrong somewhere along the line, which is always great. But we've touched wood, this has been a really good job so far, and yeah, it's going to be amazing when it's finished.
And what is so special about this organ?
It's just made nicely. We've restored a lot of instruments that are questionable in their construction and yeah, the design, but this one, to fit on this, I just think it's amazing to fit on this balcony. I mean, this balcony dates back to 1736, so this was a musicians' gallery back in the day. So you've had, you know, your village musicians playing for the service and then disappearing off down the pub during the sermon, which is where I guess they put a lock on the other side of the door to keep them up there. But then this thing's got to fit on that balcony, so there was a lot of thinking to go on there, and they've made it so compact, but the design of everything is so beautiful. And there's one particular name that always comes up, and he is stamped on quite a few places, and his work is beautiful. There's 3 or 4 different people that we found their names, and I've added my name to 2 other names that were on various bits, and you can't see it because when you screw it back on you can't see where our names are, but they're hidden, so that in probably 60-70 years time, if anybody really cares about them anymore, someone will come and try and repair it again. They'll take that off and see my name and 2 other centuries worth of organ builders, one from 1940 and the others from 1878 when it was first built. This is a harmonic flute, and it's a bit different to a bourdon in the sense that it's got a hole drilled in halfway down it, and this will sound then an octave higher than its length of pitch. So you end up with a false harmonic, a bit like a flute being blown when the lip. And if I cover the whole up, you get the octave below. So you get that lovely kind of real flute sound. That's a harmonic flute. And they're made out of a large percentage of lead with some tin and antimony in the mix as well. But these are mainly large percentage of lead. And we know this because they're very soft. And they fold very easily if you sneeze on them. And then the metal gets a bit more tastier as they go up, and it becomes spotted, which is where there's a bit more of a higher percentage of tin in it, and it creates this lovely spotted effect. And that helps for rigidity and also for brightness in tone as well. So the higher they go, the more spotted they become, and that will help with the brilliance in tone, so it will sound brighter like an actual flute being played. Again, if you cover the hole. This is where it all begins really with a pipe organ. You need wind to make a pipe organ work, and this is an electric blower. It's a centrifugal blower, and this produces wind which travels down this trunk into the bellows, which is a large reservoir in the organ, a bit like your lungs. And very much like pressing on your lungs, there are several cast iron weights that sit on the top of the bellows itself, and they create the pressure, and the wind goes up through the big trunks which feeds up the back, and there's 2 smaller trunks that then feed the 2 soundboards, and this mechanical action here works from the keyboard. So when a note is depressed at the other side, it works this backfall here, which works the pull down, which pulls down on a valve, if you like, inside the soundboard called a pallet. And the wind that's inside that soundboard, that's blown from the bellows up through the trunks, then gets released into the bottom of the pipe. And depending on which stop you've got pulled out, these are the stop action rods. So with them all off like this, no sound can happen because there's no wind getting to a pipe. But as soon as you select one of the sounds, or stops if you like, then the wind can go up through the hole, through the slider which this controls, into the bottom of the pipe and make it sound. But there are absolutely hundreds and thousands of bits of this instrument that have been restored back to the former glory, really. From, it's just mainly muck that was on it. And then all this is the pedal division here. This is all pneumatic stuff that was changed in the 1940s, we think. And done all the pneumatics on these and made them work again. We were just testing it yesterday, which is why a few tubes are hanging out, because we've got a few bits to fix on that. But most of it, the good majority of it all worked fine. And because we've not erected this in the workshop, we don't find out until we get here whether things work or not, and then we have to adjust a few things and then they work. But majority of it will work normally first time. So yeah, and then yeah, got two keyboards, a two keyboard instrument. On this organ they're called manual 1 and manual 2, but on most organs this is the grate and this is the swell. It's called the swell because all the pipes are inside a box, and the box has louver doors on the front of it, they're like Venetian blinds, and there's a pedal that will be installed here eventually down here that works those doors, so you can shut the doors and keep the sound in and quieten it down. So this is the expressive department of the instrument. And then the grate, all the pipe work is unenclosed and it just sits up above here on the soundboard here. All these tubes then feed from the soundboard to pipes that are in the front of the case that wouldn't fit on the soundboard, because of course this instrument has to fit on this tiny balcony which predates the instrument by about 120 odd years. So it's all got to fit up here with no modification to the balcony, and Mr. Helmshaw did it by getting a lot of the pipes that would be on that soundboard into the case to make the soundboard slightly shorter. And Richard, my boss, has had a fantastic last couple of weeks putting all those back in. We've found a few we've had to solder back up because they were badly damaged, and done some of that in the workshop. And then yeah, like we say, we're nearly in the end of that bit now, which is getting good. And then once that's all done, we'll regulate the action one more time and then start to listen to what it sounds like once we get a few pipes in it. So yeah, we're getting there slowly. So we've only just temporarily got all this together now, this action here, which will connect the two keyboards together, coupler. Well, eventually what we'll do is we'll get that all regulated up so they're all pulling the same amount. And we've got the same to do on the pedal as well, because there's a mechanical action that goes to the pedal board which will sit here, and that's of course played by the feet. So yeah, play it with every part of your body, even your nose if you need to.